Next up, let's get talking about something that I call slingshots. Is that an official term? No. Have I used that term for many years and my students have been able to easily recognize what it sounds like? Yes. So let's talk about it. Basically, what you're going to do is, again, we're going to start in the minor blues scale environment. We're going to take, and again, C minor blues, we're going to take the third note F, and we're going to pull some tension into the blue note before going down through all the notes to the root. Okay, so it's a longer first note. Pull the slingshot back to the blue note, and then the rock or whatever's in your slingshot gets flung, whatever the word is. So you can repeat this first note a few times, which can sound quite cool. And in context, it would sound like this. So that's it. Now, breaking that down rhythmically is going to be like triplets inside pairs of eighth notes, and it gets kind of complex. So instead, you almost want to verbalize it. Do-do-diddly-ya, 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 boom-ba, or whatever the ending might be. Instead, if that doesn't work, what we can also do is I'm just going to play through it with a snap so we have a bit of a grounded rhythm, and I want you to try to join me. If you're not at your instrument, get to it. Go to your piano and try to join along with me. In 2, 3, 4. Keep it going. Couple more. That sort of idea. You can also, again, just hold it. So the first note is just held. The main point here is that the slingshot itself is quite quick. So we hold, bilia, bilia, bilia. That sort of idea. So again, what we can do is when we were in C minor, we were playing this slingshot down to the root of the minor blues. But if we're in the relative major, in this case E flat major, where the blues scale notes are the same, but now it's a major blues scale, we would use the same slingshot as we did in the minor. So starting on F, okay? So it feels like there's a lot of focus on the sixth of E flat major, this C, but again, we're thinking of it as C minor blues. So when we do a slingshot in C minor, we're focused on landing on the root. When we're in the relative major, we're focused on landing on the sixth. But I don't think of it so much like that. I just think of it as the relative major and relative minor and how those work together. Now again, with dominant chords, for example, C dominant 7 to F dominant 7, same thing applies as the last class, where you can do parallel or relative. Parallel being C minor blues, which sounds fine, or the relative minor, which is A. So the C minor blues scale, slingshot, or the A minor blues scale, slingshot, when you're playing within a C major blues. And generally in a C major blues, your chords would be C dominant 7, F dominant 7, and G dominant 7. So when you're in that environment, you can still be thinking of the minor blues scale to help you out. Now, slingshots don't have to be in that exact spot. I find they work really well there, but take any note. Let's say we're back to a C minor 7 chord, and I'm playing the flat 7. That would be our sound. We have the B flat, pulling back the slingshot to a C, and then rolling down through notes. Now you could include that blue note, but I just went pentatonic just because there's the right amount of notes. Otherwise, I'm landing on that F sharp or adding an extra note, which feels a little bit too kind of clunky and congested. Okay, now I had to cross a finger, so the fingerings for all of these different slingshots that are available can get a little bit overwhelming. There are tons available, but what I would say is do what feels right. If you're used to practicing scales, you've probably recognized that longer fingers play up on black notes and shorter fingers play on white notes, and you should be comfortable crossing fingers at this point. That's why I have my longest finger up on this black note, up a finger, down a finger. This is a bit of a stretch. You could go to 2 and 1. I like the feeling of 1 and 2. I'm very comfortable with crossing, so it all depends on you and your comfort level. So you could even go through just the pentatonic scale and start on every note and do a slingshot. It would sound like this. And you could add the blue note, but just watch when you land on it. It would sound kind of bad from time to time. It would sound like this. So the concept, you play a note, you pull up one note in the blues scale and you fly down 3 extra notes. That is the slingshot pulling back and releasing. If you're not used to playing fast stuff within the blues scale yet, this is a great jumping point because it's in a nice tight hand position for the most part, and the concept can be broken down so that it makes sense, right? We're moving up a note and then down 3, and the rhythm can be kind of loose. You can play around with your own slingshot rhythm. This is the one that I like to use, either holding or double tapping and then slingshotting. But feel free to explore and experiment and see what you can come up with yourself. Slingshots were never taught to me officially. It's just sort of the way I visualize this rhythmic sort of figure. So I hope that it makes sense to you. I really hope that you get to use it within your improvs because it's one of my favorite things to throw in when I'm improvising within the blues. I hope you had fun with that, and I'll see you in the next class.